said it, 27 innings in about 27 and a half hours. Won all 3 games, though. So kind of talk about how good of a weekend that feels going into a team stadium and winning all 3 games there.
Yeah, I think when you look back at last week, we played 4 games, found a way to win 4. There was a mixed bag. I think a lot of different guys contributed to a lot of different wins, and which is great to see this time of year. It's playing on the road's one thing, playing at home, coming from behind's one thing. Low-scoring games, also just a variety of I guess, a group finding ways to win. So that was great to see. We knew starting, I guess, last Tuesday, Incarnate Word, pushing through tomorrow against Texas Tech. It's a lot of baseball in a short amount of time, but it got magnified a little bit with the rain this weekend, where we did play 27 innings in about 26 and a half hours. So I was real proud of the way the guys handled it on the road. A couple of tight one-run games, and then finally got out in front a little bit and got to play with the lead on, I guess, Game 3. So real proud of the guys, proud of the fight. It was great to have a couple of days to kind of get reset here before another long week ahead of us.
And I mean, if there are any questions about your team's kind of grit or toughness, I feel like they got answered. I mean, playing that much baseball in that short amount of time, and such, close games. Back and forth, trading leads, clutch performances. But you guys didn't seem to blink on it. What's that say about your team, and how proud of that are you?
Yeah, I think we got a tough group. I think even if you go all the way back to Incarnate Word, we gave up 5 to start the week last week in the first inning, and then really stacked, I think, 8 zeros after that. We found ways to win a bunch of innings as we pushed through. So that is something. Sometimes in order to get that grit badge, you've got to kind of go through some tough times, unfortunately. So that's just life in general. So sometimes to get through the easier things, you got to go through the hard things, and I think our guys have done that. If you think back to the sweep versus Sac State a few weeks ago, I think I mentioned it's never as bad as you think, and it's probably never as good as you think. So our guys have certainly answered the bell with 7 straight wins. They're feeling good, but at the same point in time, we want to do it the right way, and we know we can be humble pretty quick in this sport. So makes it easy when you got Texas Tech coming to town tonight, and then again tomorrow with a midweek, kind of double midweek with those guys. So we've got a challenge in front of us that we know, but I think our guys will, they're going to make the most of the opportunity.
And you mentioned that the winning streak, I guess I'll call it, it comes right after, you guys get swept for the first time in a long time. Is that kind of a little bit of a reality check, kind of kick in the butt that your team maybe needed to kind of say, hey, let's reset and then let's play a Wildcat baseball, or was it just kind of let's go?
Yeah, I don't know. I think our guys have been playing hard. I don't think there's any point this spring that I feel like we've arrived. We've yet to play our best baseball, really complete games multiple days in a row. So I think it was more of man, in our league, if you don't play well, you lose. And we just didn't play well 3 straight days, unfortunately. Sometimes there's a different pitcher that may give you a tough matchup one night, but to do it 3 straight days, it's humbling for sure. So we have been able to flip course and jump right back on it. I think we're back on the fight. When you look at where we kind of want to be, there's a long road ahead of us with 4 weekends to go. The journey's the same, just we got to keep on getting better. We've got some guys that have been down. We've got some guys that have came back. We've got some guys that are currently down. So that's the thing about collegiate athletics, man. I don't think you ever have your full roster. So it gives other opportunities, or it gives other guys opportunities to kind of slide in. And if you think back to the one-run win, I think on Thursday night, 3 or 4 guys pinch hit and contributed with runs or hits, which again, Rance Radke stepped up and got a 2-out, clutch 2-strike hit there to put us out in front in the 8th inning. So those moments are cool. You just got to prepare for them. I think that's what we constantly talk about is you work while you wait. You prepare for your moment when it comes there. If you do all those things, I think the game honors that. So we'll see what tonight holds and what the rest of the season has in store.
And that kind of brought up my next point. Talking about Radke, comes into pinch hit to sack bunt, gets his job, gets the bunt down, and good things happen. The pitcher throws it away, and then he comes up later again in a clutch spot and comes through again. As a coach, what does that make you feel of you put the guy in the right spot at the right time and he performs. How good does that feel for you as a coach, for the team, and to see that kid succeed?
Yeah, I think Rance is a real easy one to highlight because, and I share this with the team, Rance is one that, just like anyone on our roster, they all want to work and play every day. You know, that's why they come here, is for opportunities to play. But I think when you look at Division I baseball, there's also the group of guys that do what they have to do and do what they need to do to help the team win. I think Rance would certainly fall in that bucket. Does he want to play every day? Yes. Has he been in the corner pouting because he's not? No. He works every day. I see him walking to the cages every day. So, again, I think the game honors that. You know, I think if it was the opposite and he was pouting and wasn't working, A, he probably doesn't get that opportunity. B, he probably doesn't have some success in that opportunity, in that role. So it was great to see. It's great to use those guys as an example. Same with Maddox. And another go-ahead run was Reese Borhold taking a hit by pitch. So many things that we talk about. You know, Zion Stevens comes in to pinch run and scores from first base. So there's so many things that on guys that may not be playing every single inning of every single game, they should feel like they're helping the team win. And that's what we're all here for, is to kind of put everybody in positions for success.
And now we got to the War of West Texas, as I saw it on the big board out on the football field. Texas Tech coming to town.
Yeah.
It's always a fun rivalry whenever you get a couple of West Texas teams together. Just talk about that and the ability to play a really good Power 5 opponent here in Abilene.
Yeah, no, we always appreciate the opportunity to kind of play home and home with Texas Tech. There's some other teams that have decided to kind of go away from that here in the state. So for us to be able to play here in Abilene to start the series, if you will, the midweek series, go back up there tomorrow. Our guys will be excited. I'm hoping they'll be down. They'll have a good crowd. There'll be some red and black in our stands tonight, I'm sure. But I'm excited to see all the purple and white come out to support. There's just so many Texas Tech alum that live in Abilene that support ACU. It's a pretty healthy mix, I think. So hopefully tonight we'll have those folks will be pulling for us this evening, even though they may have gone to Tech or whatever. So no, it'll be an exciting evening. Good baseball. We're gonna have great weather. So excited to see our guys compete against a team that's got the national brand that we're trying to work to get to. You know, I think everyone knows who Texas Tech is, regardless if you're in Texas or just anywhere across the country. So that's what we want for our baseball program here, is to be known as a really good baseball playing school. Hopefully at some point the best faith-based institution in the country that plays baseball. That's something we want to do. In order to do that, you got to beat some teams like Texas Tech. So we'll have another opportunity to do that tonight.
And I know you guys are always, the focus of your team is you're going to stay internal, focus on yourself. But when you play teams like a Dallas Baptist or Texas Tech or these big name schools, do you are you able to use that as kind of a measuring stick as where your team is, or does that even cross your mind?
Yeah, but I think, there's certainly full transparency. You know, Scripture says comparison is the thief of joy so oftentimes. So I think when you look at that, I try to guard myself in terms of our roster, their roster, our schedule, their schedule, our facility, their facility. There's so often you can just kind of compare yourself to other people. I do think as I don't know, over the last 6-7 years, when you look at our team on the field at the same time as other teams, maybe early on there wasn't as many players that could play for them. You know, I think we are getting to a point now where some of our guys would play for some of them or play over some of their guys. I don't know what that'll look like tonight. But in a couple of years past, I think that's what it takes to beat them. You know, you're not if you're going into a fight and the majority of your starters wouldn't play for them, you got an uphill battle. I do think it's been at least more even than it has been in the past. I think there's been a gap that's closed, but still, man, they're going to have the luxury of having maybe a better 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit, where we're probably not getting those guys. But what we're trying to do is get that 2 and 3 and 4 and develop them into the next stage up. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that to give us opportunities to, when we jump in these. I think we've got 14 or 15 Power 5 wins over the last 4 years now. So our guys at least feel like we're going to have an opportunity to win if we play well, and that's where it starts. I think you've got to get off to a really good start against these teams. You don't want to play from behind. So, but same thing holds true when we play Seattle this weekend. You don't want to have their A bullpen group in when they've got a lead to protect. So hopefully they say the same thing about us. If we can get to that point, we're in a pretty good spot. So it'll be a good opportunity for us to kind of see where we are as we start a new week.
And ever since you guys had the official opening of the ballpark, you guys have had some really good baseball. This past week, you swept UT Arlington at the midweek game as well, and you guys winning conference record. What message do you think you guys are sending right now to the college baseball world?
Well, I think one, I hope it starts with we took a punch, and now we're at least back off the mat, and hopefully after this weekend we're back in the fight. I think when you look at it, we've got 3 conference weekends left. There's still a lot of baseball left in our league. So we're right where we need to be. Now, we're not where we want to be. I think we are where we are. So we'll kind of see what, if we can go on the road and play well again this weekend, then you take another step forward. And then you got an opportunity to take another step forward and hopefully position ourselves in a really good spot as we go into the conference tournament. So I don't know if there's been any message sent. I think internally and maybe to our alumni base that I hope they're proud of the guys that did take a punch 3 weeks ago. We've kind of gotten back off the mat, played well, played better. So hopefully, if anything, it shows the resilience and toughness of our group.
And then looking ahead to the upcoming road trip, you guys are first going to go to Texas Tech, but then you go to Seattle, pretty far away. What's it going to take to go on the road there and play well?
Yeah, I think it's always a little different place to play. They've one, it's travel, a lot of travel. I think when you break it down, getting out there is not an easy trip for us from Abilene. But their style of play is a little bit different. It's always going to come down to starting pitching. The game times usually seem to be a little bit different as they're going to be this weekend. So just getting acclimated at their home park, starting pitching, timely hitting, getting off the field with 2 outs, extending innings with 2 outs. I don't think any of it really changes. It's just going out there and doing a good job with it early on in the series. So we've got 18 innings before that. So I'm not necessarily thinking about Seattle at this point, but it'll be a cool trip for some of our guys that have never been to the Pacific Northwest.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Thanks, Rick. Yeah. Pretty good weekend for you guys. I mean, anytime you can beat a rival, it's always fun, but anytime you can beat a rival in your conference, it makes it even better. Just talk about the games against Tarleton and the drama that came with it.
Yeah, proud of our group, how we showed up. Anytime you can win a series, it's a good weekend. Anytime you can put yourself in a good position with 2 weeks left, it's a good weekend. So excited for where we're at and where we're going and where we're headed, I guess. Awesome to be able to do it at home. I mean, just like we talked about last week, it's huge to be able to win a series against a rival at home. And so, yeah, just proud of our group and how they stepped up to the plate.
And I mean, you come out, you lose the first game of the series, but that same day you come back, win a close ball game, and then the next day you go down again, and then some more clutch performances.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's hard to beat the narrative that you like getting hit first and then responding. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of talk
Yeah.
about that.
The power is in the response, and this group loves to respond. It's funny. We started strong the first game, and after that first game, and when we ended up losing, I told them right after, I was like, you can't start strong and not finish strong. Like that's not how you're gonna be successful. We can't do that. You can't just go through the motions, think that 3-run bomb was enough, and like Val coming up and putting us up on top in that first inning was big time. And I've been through a lot with her specifically, so I mean it's huge. Like those are fun moments you get to celebrate, and you can't really put them into words, especially for a senior with a couple weeks left. But then to not be able to hold it and not capitalize going forward, we actually, I think, got worse as the game went on offensively. And so we talked about that going into game 2. And, I literally told them, I'm like, it's your choice how you want to respond. And they did. And, after the win, I told them, let's respond tomorrow, at first and not just wait. But to see us come back, I mean, that late inning home run from Katrin, I mean, same thing. A senior in their last couple weeks of playing, just turn on that pitch and hit it out. I wish that these moments you have those, you have TrackMan and you can, get the stats on it because that ball was hit hard. So super fun just to see us come together and continue to get better as the weekend went on. And, I think that'll be the challenge going into this weekend. It's can we respond sooner and come out with that same mentality. I think it's big for them knowing that we've won the last 2 series and WAC, that they're capable of it and believing in themselves. As a coach, it's our job. Leaders are believers, and it's our job to believe in them. So, but for them to start to see it and start to believe in themselves and know that they can come back in games and start strong and stay strong, I think it's really important.
And I mean, it was a number of different players that would step up in that series, and it's kind of been that way all year. As a coach, just talk about how good that feels, that it's not just one person, that you can look down the entire bench and have somebody and call somebody's name and they're going to step up and they're going to perform. How good does that feel?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think that's where you want to be. That's where good teams are, is that they can, call somebody up and, when their number is called, they're ready to perform. So I think it's just keeping them in the mentality, everybody has a role and every role is important, and, just continuing to work through practice to, own that role. And also, some of them want to change that role and stay consistent in their roles. So it's just continuing to get to buy into that going forward.
And you talked about the response all season. I mean, the difference that you've seen, not only this year, but I mean, if that game happens 6 months ago or 6 months ago, you might not come back. It happens a couple years ago, you might not come back. But now you're starting to get those wins. You're starting to see that happen. How good does that feel, confidence-wise? And talk about your team being able to use that confidence later on in the season.
Yeah, like I said, that's what we're here for. That's the build. That's why you play the tough preseason. That's why you play, a full conference schedule, so that way you can try to peak at the end and you're playing your best softball in May. So I've said it all year, and we're on that home stretch to get there, and I think that we're in a good spot.
And then going ahead to Cal Baptist, tough road trip, always tough travel to the West Coast. I mean, different time zone, long flight, but it's nothing you guys haven't dealt with before.
Yep.
Talk about just trying to keep up that momentum and stay hot despite all of those distractions.
Yeah, just one day at a time. I think that's the biggest focus. Be the best at getting better today. That's the message to them every single day. So we'll be our best, tomorrow when we practice, Wednesday when we practice, Thursday when we practice, and then when we show up on Friday, just got to be the best in the moments that we're in and respond accordingly, as you know. So I'm looking forward to it. I know a handful of our kids are from California, so it'll be great to get them back home, so to speak, and get them in front of their friends and family. So it'll be a good weekend for us.
And I mean, you got, I think, 2 series left in WAC play. Talk about just managing the ups and downs of a season, of a series, of a game. I mean, it could be exhausting for not only coaches but players as well. Just talk about trying to manage those emotions and try making sure your team is staying level through all of it.
Yeah, well, that's my job as a coach, is to do that. So it's fun. It's exhausting at times, but I mean, it's the highs and the lows. That's what creates those great moments with them and with the team itself. So they're doing a good job, and like I said, I think we're continuing to get better, and just seeing the results on the other side, it continues to get help them buy in more and more. And so, like I said, I think we're in a good spot, and just excited to what these next 2 weekends will bring. Regardless of the results, we're going to make it to the conference tournament, and I think that's huge for this group because they haven't been in a while. So proud of them. I mean, we're sitting at 500 right now. That's something else they haven't had in a long time. So, we got a good momentum moving forward right now.
And yeah, going off of that, and one would call that a winning conference record.
Yeah.
And having that, even with all the difficult opponents on your schedule, and having a positive result like that, what do you think that says about your team?
Yeah, they're in it for the fight, and I know that they want it, and so it's just not getting them to just say that they want it, but actually putting in the work and the actions to get for what they want, or to work for what they want and see the results. I think that's where we're at, and them finally getting to see it. Like I said, I think it's just going to continue to build momentum going forward.
And then we already asked about Cal Baptist, but I guess any sort of a scouting report maybe you have on that? I know it's early, but
yeah, I mean they're a solid team. They had a couple good kids in the circle. They can play good defense, and they have some kids in their lineup that can hit. So it's going to be another battle, and that's what the beauty of being in the conference that we're in is that every weekend the fight is tight, and it's just who comes out on the other side of it. So excited.
Congrats on being named assistant. All right. Just another line of conference winners here at ACU this last school year. Talk about your team and just how cool it feels to win the conference tournament, especially being the #1 seed in the championship game.
This team has been an incredible team to coach this year. We're overall a young team. Lot of new faces from the team that won it 4 years ago in 2022, 3 years ago. Really two guys from that team were still a part of this team. It really was an incredible season. Ups and downs. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes that obviously tough conversations, and like I said, ups and downs, people coming in and out of the lineup, and just the way the guys handle it all season long was pretty incredible. And then, of course, beating we knew we had a tough road ahead, just being number 3 seed. We were going to have to go through UT Arlington and then Grand Canyon, and just the way the team responded to the challenge was incredible to see. I have to give credit to every one of them. I mean, it really, the way they showed up to that tournament, and everybody took care of their role, whether it was playing doubles only or it was playing doubles and singles, or it was just simply being on the bench and cheering. I mean, I can tell you every single guy had a purpose and took pride on the role that they were playing for the championship, and it made a difference at the end of the tournament.
And I mean, this is your second conference tournament in the last 4 years. That's tough to do any level, any sport to do. So what does that kind of say about ACU tennis as a whole, and the statement it makes to the rest of the nation?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a testament to what this program has been historically. I had the fortune to play here 20 years ago, and people created this program. There's people that were here before us and will be here after us. I tell the guys all the time, and it's really the success of this program comes in the heels of those that have been here before, and the coaches that did it before us, and the players that were here before. And we just really, when I took over, I was really just trying to continue that tradition and to continue to honor what others had done. And luckily, and we've been blessed to be able to continue to do that.
And now you got a little bit of time between now and the national tournament. I know next week you'll find out where and who you'll play. But just talk about the excitement of getting to represent ACU, West Texas, on a national scale, and try to put some pride into that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's incredible for us to be able to do that. We get 2 weeks where we get to enjoy more time together. I mean, these guys just love spending time together, and for us to extend our season a couple of weeks so that we can spend more time on the court. And like you said, just being able to take Abilene, the city of Abilene, is something I'm really, really proud of, to be a part of this town. I came here and never left. It's just who I am now, and I consider part of where I'm from now. I usually say Abilene just because of the time that I've been here and what Abilene and ACU have done for me. And a lot of these guys, man, I can tell you they're so proud of being, here in ACU and Abilene. They've embraced the culture of West Texas. We've taught all of them to fish and to handle, a shotgun and a little .22 rifle, no matter where they come from. We take them out and do some of the things that people in West Texas do, and for us to be able to, to be the team that represents that in the national level is incredible. These guys have an incredible pride for their colors, for the university, for the city of Abilene. That it's just it's fun that we get to do that.
And now playing at this big stage, what's it going to take to put together? I wouldn't want to call it a Cinderella run, but what's it going to take for this team to go win the whole thing? Yeah, no, I mean tennis is one of those sports that, man, it really is. It takes a lot. Upsets are not usually the most common thing in tennis, just because of the way it is your number one against their number one and two. So you got to put a lot of wins at all the different positions. But I always tell the guys, I've always been dumb enough to think that on any given day we can beat anybody. That's the way I was as a player, and that's the way I kind of believe as a coach. You never know what happens on the court. We're gonna keep doing what we've been doing all year. There's a lot of people that didn't think we could do the conference tournament and having to beat two great teams. But we just went and did it, and against a lot of odds, and just the way the matches went, and going down 2-0 against UT Arlington on Friday, on Saturday losing 5 of the 6 first sets, and then this team just never stops fighting. So to us, it's just continue to be who we are, kind of live or die through who you are and what we do, and then the rest, we can't control. We focus a lot on the things we control, and we truly believe that if we can do those things at our best, then that's the best chances we'll have to taking care of business.
Awesome. I got one question.
Yeah.
During the regular season, y'all played UT Arlington twice and came up short against them. What was the difference or anything going into the WAC tournament that caused y'all to beat them? Anything changing in practice? Anything towards that level? Yeah,
I got to give credit to the guys. I was hard on them the first time we lost to them. It ended up being, I believe, 6-1. Lost 3 or 4 3-set matches. And I just, it was a good match, but I saw a lot of doubt in them. So I was disappointed in that, and they knew that. We talked about it. The second time we played them, I kind of challenged them to make a statement. What kind of statement do you want to make going into the conference tournament? Because we kind of had an idea that there was a good chance we would play them the third time, and I just wanted them to be able to get over that almost mental block that they had with UT Arlington. It was almost like there was. When the moments matter, there was a little bit of doubt that creeped in. And the second time we played them, I think we kind of got past that. We got down early again, but we came back roaring, and it was kind of like we finally just released that, again, doubt that we had with them. Ended up being a 4-3 match, losing one of the matches 7-5 in the third set, so really, really close, could have gone either way. And it was kind of like the guys realized, man, there's no reason for us to really have any doubt that we can do it. They're an incredible team, really, really tough, well coached. But it was, I think from our end there was a little bit of doubt. And after that second time, I told my assistant coaches that I felt really good about the way the guys competed that time. Came down to a couple of points on a court, and I said, man, I like our chances going into a conference tournament. We played them again. It's hard to beat somebody 3 times in a year. And just, again, the way the guys took it and the leadership that Danny Morozov, our number 1, and Ben McDonald, our 2 seniors, again, the way Ben came back in the last month of the season and kind of claimed that number 6 position, I think that was huge for us, just to have somebody that said, you know what, I think at the beginning of the season we were so deep that he's doing his masters, and he kind of, hey, somebody else can maybe do it, and it doesn't have to follow me. But that last month of the season, he kind of said, you know what, I think I'm going to have to be the one that steps up, and he did it together with Danny, our 2 seniors, like I said, and that was also a huge part of us being able to get over that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He got the most outstanding player award.
Yeah.
And, you mentioned UTA, and he lost his number 1, his singles, the first 2 times.
Yeah.
And he beats, the same guy, beats him on Friday, and then wins his singles match on Saturday. What did you think about?
No, I mean, I think it was par for the course for the career he's had here for us. I mean, from the moment we recruited him, we knew he was a special player. He's had a lot of special moments for us. Last year, beating Texas Tech number 1 when we were able to upset Texas Tech. Freshman year being, huge for us at that number 1 position since he was a freshman. So for him to end his career the way he did, it was just perfect. Again, I think that second time we played UT Arlington, he realized it's there. It's just a matter of believing. That win was huge for us too, because the number 1 position is usually the one you can't just put a check on just because you're playing the best guy on the other team every time. So it was incredible. And then again, Ben, I mean, I always tell the guys we need 3 doubles and 6 singles. We don't just need 4 points. You need 7 just to be able, because you never know where it's going to go. And I think the whole team, and the way Mershid battled on Friday and the way he was battling on Saturday, the way Dennis never gave up in the finals against Grand Canyon. He was down 5-1 in the second set, brings it back and extends the match another 30 minutes. And that allowed a couple of our guys to get back into their matches. So it just kind of changed the momentum completely. And then, of course, the way Ben, again, came through for us the whole last month of the season. Tommy clinching both matches as a freshman in the semifinals and the finals. I mean, it was a complete effort. And the doubles point with Alex and Ethan, I think because doubles happens first, people forget a little bit. But they saved 5 match points in the doubles to get the doubles point. They were down 5-4, deuce point. They saved that, and then they go down 5-6, love 40, come back and win that, and then win it in a tiebreaker. I mean, the way those 2 guys, I mean, that doubles point really, I think, set the tone for singles. But then we went down 5 out of the 6 first sets in singles. So it was a complete effort. I mean, just to watch the way the guys just took pride on, like I said, in every spot forward from the moment he got here. I mean, we kind of have been talking with him since he got here, and just how he's a little bit behind, but we have a plan for him for 2-3 years with him where he just needs to stay there. But he takes his freshman year to just learn and soak up as much as he has, and for the way he's kind of just been supporting the guys from the outside almost all season long has been incredible and has made a huge difference. So like I said, everybody has a role in our program, and the guys just took pride on whatever that role was for the tournament.